What's going on, everybody? We got Billboard Breakdown Hot 100, November 16th, 2024. Chill Bay, Lightyear, Sao Paulo. We good. Brokey. Let's go.
Hey there.
I'm Mark, affiliation with Spectrum Pulse.
Looks like we got a breather. Well, LIL UZI Vert as well. But it's Billboard Breakdown. The big benefit of weeks like this is that after a pretty busy week, it's nice to exhale. Yes, it's post-album bomb, but none of it left the charts courtesy of Tyler, the Creator, having all of the staying power, and that leaves me breathing a little bit easier. LIL UZI Vert may have charted a couple of songs, but they can be managed, especially as I don't think any of them are really gonna last. But before...
Guys, it's so sad, bro. Like, I'm not gonna... Look. New Uzi album, mid. I'm sorry, guys. It was... Honestly, I think it was worse than Pink Tape. Like, I didn't like Pink Tape. I listened to the entirety of Pink Tape, and I didn't think it was that good. Like, there were some really good highlights, but, like, Eternal a Take Two, like, that one, like, it didn't have really any songs that, like, I truly liked. I think Chill Bay, like, is okay. It's an okay song. But, like, everything else, like, I would never return to it. You know what I'm saying? And I think the quality of the album kind of shows in the chart performance because if it was truly a really great Uzi album, right? Like truly great, I think it probably would have sold more than 100K because I'm pretty sure like it sold like 70K or like 60K, which is not that good for Uzi, honestly. Because I think Pink Tape did way better than Eternal a Take Two, and Eternal a Take Two has been like pretty hyped up because Eternal Take is like one of the most like liked rap albums of the 2020 so far. And I think because the album was so shit, Eternal Take Two, like it just didn't do that well, which I mean, hey, makes sense.
All of that, our top 10, where for yet another week, a bar song, Tipsy by Shabuzi, is holding the top spot at number 1. Although I'd say it's probably shakier than ever before. Sales might be good, but it handily lost the top spot on streaming, and radio is in decline. It's gonna challenge for the number 1 record against Old Town Road, but there is no guarantee it's gonna beat it. And that's at least partially because Die With A Smile by Lady Gaga and Bruno Mars is trying to make that push at number 2, with excellent streaming and strong sales, and really trying to cut into that radio margin. Although it's an open question whether...
When is Bruno Mars coming out with another album?
And Birds of a Feather by Billie Eilish at number 3.
He needs to pay his debts off.
Week, with radio seeing a second wind and at least decent boost on streaming, and that was enough to keep it above Espresso by Sabrina Carpenter, currently at number 4, which spent the week kind of wavering on the radio, with streaming only barely making up some of that balance. Now, of course, that means Lose Control by Teddy Swims actually gained a spot to number 5. The song's just not going anywhere, courtesy of a shockingly stable radio and streaming week. And that was enough to pull up.
This is the heat waves of
Malone featuring Morgan
2024.
And it's an outright free fall, lost position on radio and streaming. Now this allows for an opening for Taste by Sabrina Carpenter at number 7.
I like Taste.
A lot of tangible label muscle has finally been placed behind her radio in order to match good streaming, and that's a little bit different than, and I still can't believe this crap is here, Beautiful Things by Benson Boone
oh my god.
Number 8. Where the radio might be dumping it, but it's got enough momentum to hold up. Where especially when Love Somebody by Morgan
I really wanna love somebody
on streaming and just not really able to make up the traction and the difference on the radio.
I feel like that song is gonna join the list of forgettable number 1s. Like when we look back on the 2020s, like everyone's gonna forget that was a number 1.
As I predicted, Sticky featuring Glorilla, Sexy Red, and Lil Wayne made major gains to snag that number 10 spot. Thanks streaming dominance for this one, because really I've got no faith the radio will know how to handle this at all. Maybe look back to the mid-2000s, find your old playbooks from then. Now that naturally takes us to our losers and dropouts, in which we really did not get that many at all. No Tyler, the Creator song fell out of the Hot 100 this week. The biggest dropouts were Whiskey Whiskey by Moneybagg Yo and Morgan Wallen, and Yale.
Crazy how that's still there.
I'm not exactly complaining about either of them. And while Tyler, the Creator had losses, challenges, they weren't exactly insurmountable for the album bomb. Noid fell to 37, Judge Judy at 52, Take Your Mask Off with Daniel Caesar and LaToya Williams at 59, Hey Jane at 61, I Killed You at 65, Tomorrow at 73, and I Hope You Find Your Way Home at 93.
In the back of my mind,
by Lady Gaga just
I killed you, and I didn't even regret
but
it.
outside of those, the only other
I can't
losers
believe
were
I
Mamushi
said
by
it.
Megan Thee Stallion and Yuka Chiba wearing out its welcome at 79, and Hold On by Glorilla just
I thought that song would be way bigger than it was. I think it peaked like top 40, right? Like or in the 30s or 40s.
Than you might think, with the former group only really having South of France by Future at 80, Liar by Jelly Roll at 89,
How is
and
like
Lonely Road by
that's
Machine Gun Kelly and Jelly Roll at 97. Hey, I didn't say it was all good news here. Now, I would struggle to say there was a real pattern that shows out with their gains, so let's
Lonely Road
rebound from last week quickly. That's So True by Gracie Abrams, continuing up to 13. She also had Close to rise to 75. Like Him,
pretty sure that's
Tyler, the
going into the top 10
Young,
next week.
rising up the debut to 29, and I'm Gonna Love You by Cody Johnson and Carrie Underwood rising to 66. Now, the rest are all rebounds. Let's work our way from the bottom up. From Tito Double P, we had Dos Dias with Peso Pluma at 51, and El Locoron at 74. Beautiful As You by Thomas Rhett at 63.
With someone as beautiful as you. You know, there's like, why is there like two versions of the song on YouTube? Beautiful As You.
Beautiful As You by Thomas.
There's one version that is Beautiful As You, and then there's another version. It's literally the same thing, except like the beginning is different, and then it's Beautiful As You, but like with the letter U. Why is that? Why is it like
Help
that?
Me by Real Boston Richie at 56. Dancing in the Flames by
No one knows what I'm talking about, probably.
Pour Me a Drink by Post Malone and Blake Shelton at 50. Wind Up
So I'm the only one who
by
like
Tucker
has
Wetmore
ever
at 47.
went out of their way to
Club
search for
by
that song.
Chaperone at 46. And High Road
Damn,
by
46.
Poe Wetzel
I'ma
at
take the
45.
high road,
And
baby,
to cover up
get
the rest
some.
here, Who by Jimin at 44. I Can Do It With a Broken Heart.
I always forget that
at
song
43.
exists.
You Look Like You Love Me by Ella Langley and Riley Green at 40. Pink Skies by Zach Bryan at 38. The Door by Teddy Swims at 35. I love the song. It's stuck around. It's really grown on me this year. And Stargazing by Miles Smith still around at 24. But again, it's a quiet week for our new arrivals. Thank God. So let's start off with number 100, Brokey by Lotto.
You ain't never fuck with no boss, bitch. I turned you out. You won't catch me in no shark boots. I burnt them out. Bitch, you gotta wait till their birthday to go.
What is happening in this video?
Yeah, I talk a lot of shit. He like who you think you is. Nigga, not your bitch.
Okay, let's start off with the assertion that the word brokey, it's just awful. It's
You ain't nothing matter about.
Boy. Apparently Lotto actually got in hot water for titling the song this way, as some people saw it as mocking hardworking poor people. Now, I have no idea why she saw a backlash for this in comparison with, I don't know,
Drake.
any number of hundreds of rappers over the course
You
of
ain't.
decades.
Wait, no.
So much
Broke
so
boys, I don't talk to broke boys.
their work, and it could get featured in her music video, but I don't know, maybe it's a sign of the cultural climate kind of changing, or I don't know, maybe it's because the song is crap. Which it is. The brittle trap percussion around the bells and the hollowed out synths that sound paradoxically cheap. The bargain barrel flexing where you get the impression that Lotto is probably getting more money through fucking around than any competence in hip hop. That incredibly obnoxious hook where she repeats that ugly as hell word. But really it's the self-satisfied non-effort that really turns me off. Because it's so transparently shallow and classless and dull. Congratulations, you got your biggest songs off of Dr. Luke and a Jungkook collab. I don't think you've got the grace and goodwill to mock the girls who make traveling on a special occasion for their birthday. That's the vast majority of your audience. Not everyone has the money. And as I've said about flex songs for over a decade now, if you're gonna do it, you want it to be aspirational for folks to get there, not mocking those who can't. It's the same problem as the dickheads who say stealing
Shameless.
your girl. So yeah, challenge is not going to save this, and I still think Lotto remains bottom tier when it comes to mainstream women in rap. Pass. Number 82, We Good by Lil Uzi Vert.
They said I was lost. They thought I was a dead guy. I was on and off. Smallest cars, red eye. Smoking gas don't cough, but he gave me the red eye.
Alright, Alright, we only
Like,
got
what,
3
bro?
Uzi songs this week. Apparently we were all
I
blessed
thought
by
this
the
shit was
reality
hard.
that nobody seems to like Eternal Take 2 on the rationale of it being atrocious, but at least we were lucky enough to not get the truly abysmal songs charting. Even still, this is probably the worst of the songs that did chart as the album opener. The bass is clipping the edges of those trap snares, the synths feel slathered all over the back of the mix.
I did hear that, like, on Twitter, Lil Uzi Vert, like, he was saying, like, it was kind of like a Frank Ocean situation where he was trying to, like, get out of his, like, label or something, or a contract or whatever with, like, an album or something. Like, okay, but, like, the thing is, why have your shitty poop filler album for the label be Eternal Take 2? Why? I genuinely don't get that, because, like, Eternal Take is, like a very like well liked album in like the hip hop community, right? And if you're gonna make a sequel, why waste it on this bullshit? You know what I'm saying? Like, just have it be like a one off. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, man. Stupid.
Of a lead melody in order to match Uzi's delivery over the single verse that we get. But the real problem here, I think, is Uzi, who just refuses to stay on beat to save their life as they try to find something close to a stable flow as they brag about doing nitrous and then stealing your girl, and as I try to assure their mom about the new contract.
All I want for Christmas is all the
given the effects of all these drugs, I'm not sure how well understood it might have been, or why you're bragging about reading a contract. That should be the basics in your industry, but really, that's giving this more thought and consideration than it arguably deserves. This feels empty, not even in the fun way. Can't recommend it. Number 77, Sao Paulo by The Weeknd and Anita.
Can we all be fucking honest, bro? The Weeknd is absolutely fumbling this album rollout. Can we seriously just be honest with ourselves and say this? Like, I like Dawn FM, I like After Hours, and these timeless Dancing in the Flames kind of makes sense for the trilogy. Like, it has like the same kind of sound, but Timeless and this song, how do it's not even close in the same nature to the other albums of the trilogy. Seriously, what the fuck is The Weeknd doing? I'm actually genuinely confused on what he's doing. I don't hate Timeless. I think Timeless is a cool song. This song, no, it's okay. I mean, but I think he's absolutely fumbling this album rollout. I have no idea what's happening. And then this video, what the fuck?
The only other song this week, not from Lil Uzi Vert, and for all intents and purposes, it screams like a Hail Mary. Anything to assure that The Weeknd will get some sort of charting momentum for that upcoming album, of which I'm now seriously worried. This time it's a venture into Brazilian funk, with Anita's distorted voice functioning as something close to a chopped up sample, and this time interpolating the Brazilian funk pioneer Tati Quebeca Barraco. And honestly, I think on a textural level, it gets kinda close to working. If it's the ragged edges of those analog synths and that heavier whirring knock of percussion that eventually chops into something with a little bit more shouts and texture as the klaxons go off after the beat switch. You know, in terms of production,
why does this video exist?
I think this can work. I actually kind of dig it. But look, The Weeknd's not adding much to this at all. Where he finds a girl who is desensitized to all the money, she only wants that rush of good sex, and he's trying to prostrate himself before her and deliver. Although the line, "kill me softly like you want me euthanized," that's, well, certainly a choice. Honestly, it feels more like it's running on texture and momentum than that strong individual melodic hook.
This guy wants this song used for fucking Messi and Ronaldo. It is.
I don't think any of them have matched The Weeknd at his best. And while
True.
I think this is
That
decent,
is so true.
the fact that it's only just decent, that's a real problem. I'm gonna say it. Number 54, Light Year Practice by Lil Uzi Vert.
This one's okay. Compared to the other shit on the album, but this isn't good.
Second Uzi song,
Really?
and one of 2 on the album I think are vaguely passable. And really, that's more because it sounds like there's a vestige of actual polish where it could fit alongside something from that first Eternal Take project. The buzzy, saturated synths that build alongside the better balanced trap percussion and the echoing bass that actually kind of swallows up some of the mix but has some knock. And Uzi's actually pretty sharp and engaged in his flows, especially the double time on that final verse. Granted, given what happens on the rest of the project, that nicerous that they're bragging about here is a really bad sign, but the rest of the track is flexing, fucking, saying that the girl is always lesser in the relationship, reminiscing on Disney shows. Look, maybe it's just me, but the intended sugar rush of a song like this is not landing or feeling all that interesting. I've heard this from Uzi plenty of times before, what do you know, on the prequel to this album. And the kids that like this, I think they might deserve better. Passable.
Bro, like, seriously, like, even my friends who like Uzi and like you know, hip hop and trap, like, they didn't even like this, bro. It's crazy. And the only people I've seen actually like defend this album are hardcore Uzi stans, and even some of them kind of turned on him, which is like a very like big sign. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, okay, I mean, we have 2 excuses for this album being shit, right? We got the nitrous and we got the fucking Frank Ocean contract excuse. But, bro, that next album better be legendary if you decided to put this shit out to, you know, get to it. You know what I'm saying?
I guess, at best. And finally, number 48, Chill Bay by Lil Uzi Vert.
I think this one's okay. This is probably the best song on the album.
Okay, the reason this probably charted so high probably comes down to 2 things. It got a music video, and with the Chipmunk sample behind the sing-song hook and the Sandy trap percussion, and you normally know how the Chipmunk vocals normally work for me, it's probably one of the more refined songs that we got here, even if the auto-tune warble around the hook feels a bit overcompressed, but at least it has a hook. But let's be real, Uzi turning back their personality to make a pop-leaning song that someone like Kid Laroi could do, that's not a good sign. Especially for this sort of vague yearning for a girl to pay them attention, who apparently is with someone else, and where Uzi doesn't even seem that engaged by this person, as by the end of the first verse, they call it a chore, and they seem self-aware enough that this girl doesn't even really seem to like them. I mean, I would call it kind of revealing of their struggle to find someone despite all the hoes that they've been bragging about and running through, but that would also demand my interest in a lot of Lil Uzi Vert's relationship woes, and I'm not at all convinced by anything here. Yeah, it's catchy, it'll probably work if it's shipped to radio properly, but I can't say it's special or good. But yeah, that's our week.
Unfortunately,
somehow Lil Uzi Vert dodged the worst spot, where we got brokey by a lot of running away with that. And with Sao Paulo by The Weeknd and Anita, it's gonna get the best of the week, I guess. Next week, not really hearing what's going to shake everything up, but I don't get the feeling much new is coming, and we might have a bit of breathing room before the holidays.
Oh, wow, here. It's right here.
About that. But until then, I'm Mark. You're watching
Billboard Breakdown, affiliated with Spectrum Pulse. And I'll see you next time. We're going to see him next time. Hey! Comment down your favorite song of the new arrivals below. Thank you for watching. Go subscribe to Billboard Breakdown. Go subscribe to Spectrum Pulse. And, yeah. Thanks for watching.